So hello everyone, here with my review of Ancient Magus episode 4. I think the episode was really good and it finally got me kind of what I have been saying for a long time, right? Like for the 3 weeks. But that we need to kind of main antagonist, to kind of main plot, right? So it both delivered with the antagonist. So we got his name Renfred, I guess it's pronounced Michael Renfred, and his associate. Didn't say her name, so I'm going to spoil, so I don't know. I don't know the person, I don't know either. I mean, I haven't gone and spoiled myself by reading it, so not know her name, but it's super similar to Lindell, the Dragon Magician. So that's kind of like, it's they related, I don't know. I kind of feel that they are. Both cloth-wise and appearance-wise are very, very similar. Anyway, the good thing that really gives you something like to work with, right? Because before, kind of like, okay, trade magic and so on, but now we of course get something that's like, okay, some kind of workable main bad guy, right? And he looks like, I wouldn't say he looks like super, super evil, but having those like scars crossing his face, of course, so to see him, he's like, oh, it's probably a bad guy. It's like Shanks in One Piece, right? Scar face, bad guy. No, but it really gives you kind of the typical feel of that. He's probably an evil person. He might even have the scars from Elias, right? With his kind of like a skeleton hand, potentially. Or something else, or some kind of bad, magician experiment going wrong. It could be lots of different things, but probably something scarred him, right? Because he probably deserved it. So yeah, so that's very good. We get to the end there, we get the main, not necessarily the main evil guy in the whole anime, right? But some kind of elite antagonist, very probably evil, like crushing the fairy, right? Aurel, so he's probably evil. With an iron hand too, which is kind of similar. It's similar like True Blood and so on, right? Usually fairies and stuff that's big against iron and silver and different kind of metals usually is good against magician or like spiritual animals and so on. So that makes sense. Yeah, why not? Fairies can't handle iron. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But also, of course, he mentioned the overall plot there that she will die. So yeah, he mentioned the overall plot there that Chise will perish in the near future, which I honestly didn't surprise me that much. I was watching it and I was like, haven't you told her what happens to Slave Betty? And like, probably that. Because everyone is like, oh, it's so tragic being one of those. It's so tragic. Like, all the world either likes you, hates you, and makes tricks on you and so on. And it's like, yeah, probably that. It's like, yeah, it's like, she's gonna die. It's like, yeah, I could see that. It's like, everyone around her is like dying and she's going up, and all the spirit signs are mean to her and so on sometimes. And it's like, yeah, of course it's that. So, it didn't surprise me at all. And I think it's very clear because Elias knew, I mean, obviously knew, but I'm guessing, this is my theory, I'm guessing that he, of course he knows this, and he's trying to work against it. He's trying to be, he probably knows that, because he mentioned like test subject and his parents and so on, so I'm guessing he knows that, well, if you are this thing, you will get killed by, blah 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 this time, for you will burn out with your spirit, thing will kill you, whatever. So he knows that, that's why he's probably trying to teach her magic, right, primarily, to kind of save her, right? I think that's probably could be his main goal there. That if he trains her in magic, he could save one of these sledge badges. The super rare and so on. It's like, I could save one, and no one has done it before. That could very well be his motivation to why he even bought her in the first place, right? It's like, well, I'm gonna save her life. I won't tell her about it because it won't help me. Yeah, so I think that's probably it. That's my theory. He probably always just hired her to begin with, so to speak, bought her to save her, right? So try to teach her magic so she will, defeat her death somehow. That's my theory. And the whole extra thing, like marriage and so on, has been probably something he was like, yeah, that's pretty good as well. That's probably something he actually manifested afterwards. Not saying it's true or not, but it's like, that's probably something he was like, well, I could also do that, and then so on. So probably something like that. So I think it's interesting. And of course, it's also the mentioned earlier before, like sorcerers and magicians are like sorcerer, because it's not really the same thing. Maybe I missed it out. I know they defined a little bit of that in episode 2, where like we use our magic by like summoning stuff around right spirits, and I guess sorcerer using magic. They're not using like the spirits around them. So for example, if I just like fairies, right, because they don't cooperate with the sorcerers. So sorcerers only using like the kind of the pure magic, or not using like summoning, conjuring, and magic, I guess, or something. It probably makes actually make it the strongest, right? I would guess so. I think that's the kind of difference in this anime between sorcerer and magician. But otherwise, yeah, that has to be better defined. Probably next episode or 2 episodes from now, that would be more defined, right? what the difference are. It could also be all difference like sorcerer also use weapons or something, and we don't. Or like, it can be major difference there. But yeah, that has to be better defined. And I'm guessing Elias will do it after this whole cat murder guy story is over probably. Then he probably talks more about sorcerers versus magician. But otherwise, I mean, like a normal language, right? So speaking normal English in our world, it's pretty much a semantic thing, I would say. Like, what's the difference between a wizard, a magician, a sorcerer, and so on? Someone's called like a conjurer. Doesn't get a conjure stuff. They're different. But a magician uses magic, and a wizard also uses magic. But it sounds like a wizard is older or more wise or something. Yeah, like, of course, they have different, like, where the word's coming from and so on. But generally, you kind of miss the same thing, right? Yeah, like, you kind of, I mean, you covers kind of the same thing. It's like the old heroes mathematic, where if you're a sorcerer, you say like nature magic and fight with like unicorns and fairies, and if you're a wizard, you fight with like titans and golems. It's like, yeah, and they have different magics, but like, but it's like, yeah, then the warlocks are fighting with like dragons and hydras. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. The difference in that game was the magician used were very, very the same, yeah, pretty much in those games. Old Heroes of Mega 1 and 2 used the same magic, but they had different kind of animals, like with different creatures. So, yeah, that's kind of how it usually is, right? But I guess here is something probably that will be very, very well defined, hopefully in the future. So, let's talk about the cat then. I do think it was very, very foreshadowed. So I was very not surprised when it was like, oh, Matthew, he's a cat killer. It's like, yeah, I can see it coming miles away, right? Not saying it's bad, but like, man, that was foreshadowed. It's like, oh yeah. Oh, by the way, my husband, the guy we saw in his like flashback, he's the cat killer, and he turned into some kind of monster. It's like, yeah, I can see that. So of course, the general story, of course, is a sad story because obviously he's killing all his cats. Not necessarily because it works or whatever, but I mean, as a thematic plan at least, he's killing them because they want to save his wife, right? So it's like a Mr. Freeze kind of story that he's like, I have to do all these crimes, that's the only way I can make my wife live, right? So that's kind of the basic story there. That's very clear. There is no real reason yet why he killed cats, but I'm guessing there has to be with that. My theory, which I think is going to be, maybe it doesn't work or not, but I mean, there has to be probably like, because cats have 9 lives, they have some kind of life energy, magic life energy, and he mentioned a sorcerer being in town, and she also, of course, he mentioned sorcerer and not a magician in town, and given the sorcerer seems to be evil, so yeah, sorcerer evil, right? And probably that guy could even be, the main guy, right? Michael Renfred here, or whatever. Yeah, that could be the guy. And it's like, well, if you kill cats, you take the life force of the guy. So that's my theory. But something like that, right? He's killing cats to save his wife, and she loves cats, as we saw here with her cat and so on. And then the preview is something like, don't enter, on a flashback there, it's like, don't enter the door. So I guess next week we're gonna see something seen when the wife enters a kind of like hanging garden of cats or something, right? That's gonna be a horrible scene probably. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I liked all the cats, the different cats. That was pretty nice. All the different cats, right? And the whole thing there. That was nice thing, and different personalities and so on. And I guess the Gogan magician train. And also he doesn't like kids. It's a little weird. It's like kids can't use magic, but they can still see me somehow. It's like, what? You can't use magic, but they can still see you. Like that feels almost kind of, telling against each other. But I guess the kids have some kind of maybe you can't be tricked, right? Because they're children, so they're like, it's not true. Yeah, maybe they're more skeptical and so on, or sees the world for this or whatever. Yeah, some problems with that. But anyway, I think it's a really good episode, and hope to see you guys next week.